putting out the desks, the tables, I should say. Doing a fabulous job. How's that coming through?
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Tem Gua? Or is it Tem Guia? Are you able to double check for me when he comes out? Just whether it's Tem Gua or Tem Guia? I saw his Wikipedia page.
You saw that?
Yeah. Oh, here he is. Here we go.
We'll get him an Aaron out here for you. You can deal with that.
Yeah, nine crew is fine. But, Tem, yeah, I was trying to look at Tem.
I hope he scores today, so Screen's got it. And Belay. LAT.
Yeah, grab this. Yeah, sure. Right, yeah.
So just talk into it.
Yeah, all right. I can. Do you want me to tell a joke or just tell something about how you smell or whatever it is? I'm guessing in that.
Just tell me who you think will win, CT.
It'll probably be Lake Macquarie by about 3, I reckon, today. So.
Okay. Valentine and Lake Macquarie may line the two of the bottom 3 rungs of the ladder, but you wouldn't know it based on their recent form. The Phoenix have held the much more fancied Jets Youth and Maitland sides in recent weeks, while Lake Macquarie have won 2 of their last 3 matches and have found their freewheeling, free-scoring best of late. This afternoon, though, is critical for both sides. Valentine in their race to avoid the wooden spoon, and the Roosters in their quest to keep the finals flame flickering. Welcome to the home of Valentine Phoenix in the NPL at the CB complex. The home side, they look to exercise the demons of recent derbies, especially that 6-1 thrashing they received in round number 5. And this is the team they'll aim to do with Valentine. They'd make just the one change from the side who drew 0-0 with Maitland last Sunday here at Valentine. Nathan Hundley is out of the side with a fractured foot, and Josh Carroll comes into the side. And for Lake Macquarie, they are unchanged from the side who drew 2-2 with Adamstown last weekend. The weather this afternoon, it's quite a windy one at the CB complex. Warmish, but very, very windy. Currently sitting at around 15 degrees. both the coaches for Valentine, Darren Sills, believes his side has been better than their position on the ladder suggests. They're last at the moment, but they've had 5 draws this season, which have crippled them. And for Nick Webb, he put a rocket up his side after last weekend's 2-2 draw with Adamstown, where they played most of the match against 10 men. Could only manage a point from that one. It's a referee for this afternoon's match, Aaron Strickland. Chatting to both captains, very experienced NPL Northern New South Wales referee, Sam Walker, captain for the Roosters, and Reese Pettit for Valentine. Valentine in the orange kit, the home kit, as are the Roosters in their bright yellow. And it will be the Roosters, the visitors in this one, running from right to left of screen. They've had a decent record against Valentine in the NPL era. They've won 2 of 3 matches played. Back in the New FM days, it was Valentine who held the upper hand for a period of time. But earlier this year, it was Lake Macquarie 6-1 winners in round 5. Sam Walker with a double that afternoon, as was the case for Paul Sichawe, who looked to continue his good goal-scoring form in the front third. So it will be Valentine from right to left in the first derby here at the CB complex between these two sides. Valentine's new home in the NPL now. So Morgan Aquino in the centre circle. And Aquino gets us underway. Back to Sam Walker. Second on the golden boot count at the moment. Quickly, Lake Macquarie go on the attack. Mitch Hunter wide to Spare. Will be cleared away by Tem Guia, the new centre-back for Valentine. Chris Turner is with me in commentary this afternoon. CT, how did Valentine go about performing a little better than they did in round 5 against Lakes?
Good afternoon, everyone. Look, Valentine have been in a lot of games this season and they just haven't converted. And I think it's a matter of taking those opportunities. So we've got Josh Murray up front playing for them today, coming out of the central fullback role, and he'll partner Joel Woods up front. So it'll be interesting to see how those pair combine. It's good to see Chris Brown back in the side after he's had an injury, and the addition of him into the side gives them some reason to believe they could win this one.
As you're saying, Josh Murray's been playing at centre-back for a majority of the season. But now with Melee, Tem Gui, you can see him just playing that back to Scott Carter. He's got some pedigree. He's played in the second-tier competition in America with Montreal. Played 23 matches in the US Soccer League over there as Corey Fletcher cleans up at the back for Lake Macquarie. Most recently was at Cincinnati, Tem Guia, and then Hume City in the Victorian NPL, and now moving to Valentine. Made his debut last week and won Players Player. This one whipped towards the back post. Chris Brown tried to place it at the far post. It just couldn't find the mark there. The Scotsman has been missed this season. As you can see, the strapping on that right knee. Returning from injury in recent weeks after suffering that knee injury in his first match this season for Valentine in round 2. Brings a lot to Valentine, doesn't he, CT?
Well, he really does, and just his positioning there, he's got a lot of experience. He knows where to be. Walker on the ball.
Here is Sam Walker. He sees Scott Carter off his line, and it lands on the roof of the net. It was a near thing. Sam Walker, he's been moved to the midfield this year, and he's still scoring goals. He scored 11 in 12 matches this season. He's been wonderful, hasn't he, CT? He's just one off James Virgili, who's got 12 and is missing this weekend. Of course, he's over in China with the Jets.
Sam Walker, at that point, he had options. He has here again.
Tim Guia has some work to do there. Lovely threaded pass from Walker in behind his Spare. Across the pass, across the face of goal, I should say, and almost backheeled in by Mitch Hunter. Here's Campbell Ross dinking it in. An air swing from Snedden, and then Sichawe's volley. That had some venom behind it.
Lake Macquarie really on the charge here. That movement two ago with Sam Walker, he saw Carter off the line, took the opportunity. but he had the back line square and he could have slotted something in behind. And then that strike then from Shikawa was something solid.
It will be the Zambian, Sachawe from the far side, looking for Mitch Hunter. Rose tallest there, but couldn't quite get on the end of it. 5 goals for him this year. Former Jet, Mitch Hunter. It's all late Macquarie at the moment. They've dominated the opening few minutes of this one this afternoon. Here's Josh Carroll, the only change from the side who drew with Maitland here last weekend. Now Matt Paul.
He's a great worker, Matt Paul, and he won't stop all game. He'll just keep working. Probably one of the fittest players in the competition.
Yeah, he entered an SOS from Darren Sills at the start of the season. He was going to miss the 2018 campaign. Steddon gets clattered into by Sachawe. Goes and checks if he's all good. He, of course, has come back from California to play for Valentine this season. He missed a large chunk of last year on his travels, Axton, to Santa Barbara College. Here's Harry Lane. Playing at the back, but they're playing a back 5 late Macquarie, allowing the width of those wing backs, and Harry Lane has been very consistent for the Roosters this year.
Yeah, they're playing late Macquarie with a 5 at the back and then a 1, a 2 and 2 on top. So it's almost the shape of a goblet, you would say.
A wine glass, I was actually saying, CT.
Wine glass might be fatter at the top. But
as Lane whips it in. A cocktail glass, CT, mate. Across the face, Temguia.
Whatever it is, Bart, I'm sure late Macquarie just want to fill it.
Fill it with some goals this afternoon. I'm sure they've been scoring plenty in recent weeks. 2 last week, of course, against Adamstown. 3 the week before against Charlestown, and then 2 against Western. So it's been a decent spell for them. 7 goals in 3 matches. Luke Willard just can't track that one down. Campbell Ross misses the mark with the pass. But it's late Macquarie back with possession again. Sachawe sees the run of Sam Walker. Did well to stop that one with the wind. Heading across the ground. Now Walker sees Mitch Hunter at the back post, and Scott Carter swats it over the bar, although Hunter was just offside, but a great save all the same from Scott Carter, so he wasn't to know that.
Carter's one of the more interesting campaigners in this competition. We love Scotty Carter and the way he goes about his business. He's been known to be sent off, a bit controversial here and there, and he's not scared to play out of the 18 area. Brings plenty of character to the Valentine side.
Well, he hasn't been sent off this year, CT, so he's trying to erase that prejudice that you are holding against him. Here's Morgan Aquino. He scored the opener last time these two sides met, and Scott Carter did well to stop him there. And now Walker, Sachawe arriving in the middle. If it wasn't for the right boot of Reece Pettit, it would have been 1-0 to the visitors. Here's Campbell Ross.
Terrific play there from Ross. What a tackle.
Now Morgan Aquino, former Magic man. Now Walker. Couldn't quite get his bearings right there, Sam Walker, but he's had some chances early on.
Well, those chances there, the ones you want to get on target, and he'll put that one in the piggy bank, as you say, Bart, find his range, because you need to make Carter make a save.
So finally some ball down the Valentine attacking end of the ground. It's been mainly down their defensive end for the opening part of this first half, and it looks as though it will continue that way. Here's Aquino. Just got a little bit of a bump off his opposite boot and a bobble off the grass, but it falls here for Hunter, who takes it on, and somehow it hasn't been put in by Chris Brown. I thought it was going to be an own goal for sure there. It will just be a corner after what looked to be a great opportunity for Lake Macquarie. Mitch Hunter again with a chance. They're lining up for opportunities at the moment, the Roosters. This corner swung in. Knocked out by Reece Pettit. Harry Lane's first touch just let him down. He's able to recover. Now Hunter dinks it towards Aquino. Temguia with an air swing, and then Hunter absolutely whacked it with that left boot. It is tough in these conditions on the volley, CT. The degree of difficulty is increased quite considerably.
Yeah, it is, and the ground's not perfectly smooth. It is bumpy, and just the frustration. If Nick Webb had any hair, he'd be pulling it out. And look, interesting that only a few metres away, and I've been in his exact seat before, and the heart rate between his and mine now would be about, his would be double with the chances of going missing. But they've got them on the back foot, that's for sure, Lake Macquarie.
Now Sam Walker, the touch over the top to Hunter. Campbell Ross played in every match this year for the Roosters, all 12. He's come across from the Jets youth, and he's been wonderful in that defensive midfield role for the Roosters. Here's some work to do for Joe Kasich, and don't know if he's done as well as he could have there. I think Stuart Plant in the corner has done well to avoid a corner kick to the Phoenix. Riley Russell got in a bit of a pickle there, and now Mitch Hunter just called offside by the linesman, so he stayed out of it. Roosters bench weren't impressed. Willard. Now Josh Murray. Phoenix playing a 4-4-2 this afternoon, and it's mainly to give Joel Wood a little bit more support in that front third. He's been somewhat of a lone ranger up front for the Phoenix this year. There's the layoff from Wood to Brown. Crunched by the Phoenix, by the Roosters defence though. Walker tracks it down inside the line, and then Snedden with a strong challenge on Campbell Ross. Woods touch back to Snedden. He took a heavy touch, and Sachawe bumped him to ground. Reece Pettit tried to find Luke Willard, and it's been cut out. The pass is just not sticking for Valentine at the moment, CT. It's been a frustrating season for them.
It has, and you know, a 4-4-2 lineup is normally very solid, but they're struggling with the formation of Lake Macquarie at the moment, who are just on continual raids. But
here they come again. Sachawe threading it through Hunter. Sam Walker, is this the moment? Yes, it is. Sam Walker goes to the top of the Golden Boot race with his 12th of the season, and it's been coming for a while. They deserve that goal, the Roosters.
Yeah, they sure did. It's been raid after raid after raid, and poor Darren Sills sitting there just wondering what the answer is at the moment. But right now, I think that you know, Sam Walker has had a couple of shots on target. They've flown over the top, but this one he's just taken a little bit of pace off, and it's found its way just under the crossbar into the top corner actually, and he'll be elated with that goal.
Valentine trying to turn the tide of this one. At the moment, it is a flood of yellow. Walker. Riley Russell dinks it up and over the top. Josh Murray did well to keep his footing, and then just dinked it to Joel Wood. Stuart Plant with the clearance. Here's Snedden. Now Willard. Snedden sees the run. In behind. To find Luke Willard again. His final pass just let him down. Aquino, strong, and he held off defenders. Aquino onto Sachawe, and now Temguia just says, let's get out of here, and knocks it over the sideline.
Well, I don't know what's happened at training this week, Bart, but this side here, Leighton Quarry, a different one to last week. The side that I watched last week with lethargic looking. I know the pitch was heavy at Lake Macquarie. They weren't in the game. It was almost like they weren't interested. So I don't know how Nick Webb has changed that around, but at the moment they are just looking like a team that's destined for victory. But it is only early in the game. It's just a matter of Valentine trying to work this one out.
Yeah, you're spot on there. It's all about trying to reduce the damage while the momentum is with the Roosters, and Sparray almost had the opportunity to make it 2-0. But he's just lacking a little bit of confidence in front of goal, you sense. He hasn't scored this year.
Well, that one seemed to come off his toe, off his knee, and off his chin and back off his knee again. And he's running at high speed. He didn't really have control of that at all. And maybe with confidence that comes. But he's a good footballer, Bart, and he'll slot himself right back, especially in a side that's performing so well at the moment. Yeah,
almost a year since his last goal. So while he's been great down the left flank, I'm sure he'd love to get one in the back of the net. Get that confidence back in front of goal. Hunter. Here is Sparray again, surging through the middle of the ground. Hunter cuts it back. Aquino on the spin. Just tried to prod it back for Sichawe, but he was a little far off. That throw from Carter will take some chasing for Willard. He did well.
Probably would have preferred to see Morgan Aquino lock the ball up there. He didn't know if there was anyone behind him, and I was just taking a guess because he was an opportunity. Maybe that spin could have been converted to a spin and slot into the corner. But anyway, not to be. An encouraging thing for Lake Macquarie is the amount of possession they've got, the field territory they've got, and the opportunities on goals.
Sam Walker looking for a quick fire double. One straight to Carter.
He's timed his run beautifully there from deep, did Walker, Sam Walker, and he's just got himself in behind the defence perfectly. He's looming as a really big threat for this Valentine squad.
It's Russell. Now Brown. Spotted Joel Wood, but Tom Walker spotted the pass first. Scored his first goal in the NPL in 4 years last week, Tom Walker. And the 2-2 draw with Adamstown.
Well, goals are no stranger to Tom Walker either, I can tell you that. And historically, he's been on the score sheet numerous times each year. Just as he's, in his own words, as he's gotten older, he's moved his way further back the park.
Here's Zach Stedden. Josh Carroll is going to try and run this one down. Contact was weak, though, on the cross. Stuart Plant just thumps that one. He'd be loving life at the moment. The Englishman in goals for Lake Macquarie. Is it coming home, CT? You don't think so, but England this morning knocking over Sweden 2-0. Easy as you like. Swatted them away like they're a fly.
Look, you caught me off guard when you asked me that question, and to be honest, wouldn't even know. I only saw 1.5 games Australia played, so yeah, it's a fairly light comment. I hope they do well in the motherland.
Yeah, they've got Croatia on Thursday morning. Will you be getting up for that one, CT? Maybe?
I am on annual leave, but so it's a big
good.
chance.
Great news. Here's Harry Lane. Cuts that one back, and Sam Walker is just a little bit off balance. And I know we haven't got stats, but that would have to be at least 5 shots Sam Walker has had already this afternoon.
Yeah, it would be something like that, and he just needs to get the shots on target. That's what he really needs to do. He's had one and it's gone in, so all the others have been miscued or gone over mostly.
Josh Carroll with the flick on. They've started something here for Valentine. Now Joel Wood. He's got some pace, the Phoenix striker. He's had a rough run of late. He whips it in, and Josh Murray playing up front for the first time this afternoon. Almost wrapped his boot around that one. Such is the lack of confidence for Joel Wood. He scored just once in his last 8 matches. Started the season pretty well. Scored a double against Hamilton Olympic. That one back in round 3. Since then, it's been fairly lean for the Phoenix front man. Here he is again. His touch has pushed it over the goal line.
Riley Willard for Valentine.
Luke Willard.
Luke, sorry. He's injected himself into... sorry, I'm talking about Riley Russell has injected himself into the game. Barton, he's got an opportunity here with the way Lakes are playing. If they're attacking in out of the defence, then his opportunities when that breaks down to get beyond them when they pick up.
Here's Sachawe just offside. The thing that surprised me so far, CT, is Valentine, while they have been not great in front of goal this year, they've got the worst attack in the competition, 12 goals in 12 matches. But defensively, they've got the 6th best in the comp, and for a side that's dead last, it's not too bad. But today, they've looked very, very leaky at the back.
Well, you talk to anyone, and our good friend Smudge that's taken some more annual leave, which is also interesting when he doesn't get paid, is as a volunteer. And I agree that getting your defence right is absolutely paramount. It is surprising to see a side at the bottom of the table that's got a good defensive record.
It's been the draws that have really hurt Valentine this year. The 2nd most in the competition. Here's Aquino. That's the radar just off there. He has 5 draws for the Phoenix this season. Lambton, the only side with more. They've had 6. I was just looking at the competition. So last year, in the whole of the regular season, there was 20 draws already. We're at round 16, so there's 6 rounds to go after this weekend. And we're at 16 draws. So just shows you the tightness of the competition this year, and you can see that on the ladder. CT, you've just noticed there is a ball kid lying on the ground. And CT is off, so there's a ball kid just lying on the ground just off the field. We may have to stop play here. Doesn't look good at all. I'll try and bring you word on that. You can see just at the far side of the ground on your screens, there's a kid lying down against the fence. So, and Luke Willard's passed back to Scarlett Carter. You can see the kid there. So hopefully he's all okay. Here's Campbell Ross. Stick with the play. Walker. Now Temguia. He turns it over. The German-born Canadian centre back for Valentine, and Harry Lane trying to take full toll. Free kick goes the way of the home side. CT, that kid looks to be all right now. The far side of the ground. Gee, I thought we had a crisis on our hands there for a moment.
I certainly did, and went along with the linesman so we could get someone over there quicker than me, and I think he was just having a nap.
What's he doing sleeping on the job, the ball boy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd place to do it, although it is a cold day in the sun. Chicago.
There you go. Well, first time here at CB Complex for an NPL game, CT, for us. And that's the first time I've seen a ball boy lying down on the job.
Well, he hasn't gotten back up. He's just changed positions, which is good news.
He's spar, eh? Aquino.
Oh, he's just rolled over.
Here's Snedden.
Don't take anything away from the excitement of this game. Stay on the ball boy.
There's Josh Carroll. Oh, just got there in time, Tom Walker, because if he didn't, Joel Wood was off on his bike. He's offside this time.
Just going to say, Bart, that it's 1-0 up. Lake Macquarie have had all of possession, all of the field territory. 1 goal for Valentine, and it changes the mentality and the momentum of the game, because at the moment it's all with Lake Macquarie. As a coach, at half-time, Nick Webb is probably going to be looking at the amount of opportunities they got and getting a better conversion of those, because you can't have this many opportunities and not get some of them on target.
Here's Russell. It's skewed off the side of his boot, but will fall to Scott Carter. And you can probably see Valentine wearing pink socks for breast cancer awareness. Great initiative that they are showing off today.
Yeah, I did notice Darren Sills in his pink socks, but I thought that was just a normal occurrence for him, so I didn't take too much notice of any of that. But
no, I don't think it is a normal occurrence. And yeah, Valentine looking good out there with the pink socks. But
and a wonderful initiative, it really is.
I want to turn it into a good performance for them, but so far it's been scratchy at best for Valentine. Here's Temguia, very classy. that touch just too heavy. He dove in, didn't collect Tom Walker, which is probably lucky for him. And now Josh Murray just bobbled up off the turf. A little scramble. It may fall here for Joel Wood. Josh Murray, great blocking tackle. It sits back for Joel Wood. Well, it was calamitous in the end, but Valentine have equalised. And that one is against the run of play. CT, you are Nostradamus.
Well, we were just talking about that, and interesting now to see the mentality of Valentine, whether they can just maintain or now gain some momentum in the game, because they haven't had any, and it's been all Lakes. Lakes, to be honest, should have been up at least by 3, maybe more at this point in the game, and now all of a sudden Valentine have taken the wind out of the sails of Lake Macquarie, or we'll see how that goes. But look, one goal, as we discussed, is enough to change mentalities and momentums in games, and it's interesting to see how this one is going to unfold, because at the moment, straight over the sideline, exactly what Valentine would want.
Well, it's been a common thread for Lake Macquarie this year. They've scored first 8 times in 14 matches. Now, there's only 2 sides who have opened the scoring on more occasions than Lake Macquarie, and they are the 2 sides sitting 1 and 2, Edgeworth and Magic. So that's been the frustrating thing for Lake Macquarie, getting in front but not being able to hold on to it.
Well, you can already hear it off the bench. There's some vocalism, and there's players now wanting to know, and all of a sudden Lake Macquarie are in their half defending in their back third.
Things quickly turning around for Valentine. And Joel Wood, just his 5th of the season. He really needed that goal. 1 goal in his last 8 coming into this match. And while it was a fairly easy finish for a striker of his quality, they all count and they all give you confidence when you put the ball in the back of the net, regardless of how you do it.
Well, when you say easy, Bart, he had to pick his spot, and he found it very, very well, and that's just what he does. He's very, very good at that. He's a talented footballer.
Yeah, Golden Boot back in 2010 when the Edgeworth Eagles won their last grand final since their most recent run. So won the grand final back in 2015 and 2016 Edgeworth, but the previous success was back then. Damien Zane was playing, coach now, and Joel Wood scored 18 goals, all from open play that year. Now Walker. It's a foot race between Pettit and Hunter. All of a sudden, CT, it was all Lake Macquarie early on, and it's just developed into a bit of an arm wrestle now since Valentine have equalised.
Yeah, it's exactly what Darren Sills would be wanting, exactly that, just something to change that around.
Just over 26 minutes gone in this opening half, round 16 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. And it's the local derby between Valentine Phoenix and Lake Macquarie. The Roosters have won 2 of the last 3 derbies, and earlier in the season beat Valentine 6-1. Mitch Hunter and Scott Carter may have got a touch. He hasn't. Looked like it was searing towards that bottom corner. But another good opportunity for the Roosters and their striker Mitch Hunter. Now Riley Russell's touch just let him down, but he'll get away with it in the end. Lake Macquarie sitting in 9th on the ladder. Valentine in 11th at this point in the season. But it's so tight in that bottom to lower part of the NPL Northern New South Wales ladder. Really from about 4th down to 9th, it's so close.
I think that was fair enough there, but he certainly was leaning forward. Tom Walker a little bit, and the foot was certainly head high. a normal shoulder length height anyway.
It's Joe Kasich. Campbell Ross picks the pass again. Sachawe. Two smallest players on the park coming together there in Riley Russell and Sachawe. Scott Carter awake to that chip over the top. Look at that. There's some distance on that goal kick from Scott Carter, and Joel Wood got there first, but Kasich scrambled well. Trying to turn things around for the Roosters. Sparray keeps his feet well. He was slaloming past defenders. Now Hunter. Instead of taking on Tim Gui, he threads it through to Sam Walker. Reece Pettit, Valentine skipper, Johnny on the spot. He's been played in all matches this year. CT, Reece Pettit, very consistent.
He certainly is, Bart. He's been very, very good for Valentine this year. Just going to make the point that Sam Walker's run again from deep has left Valentine stranded, and they've got to be very careful of that because he is running beyond their back line and he's unmarked.
Here is that man you speak about. Walker onto Aquino, and now Mitch Hunter. And here's Tom Sparray chiming in down the left. And then he bullets it across the face of goal. Harry Lane with the wind and swirling around out there, just couldn't track it down.
Not a bad ball into the box, but he could have played it a little flatter. If he'd played it a bit flatter, then it may have had some opportunity to get some people on it and just ran away from the attack.
Now this doesn't look good for Zach Snedden. It was about 5 minutes ago he gestured to the bench, making out that he wasn't in a good way. This would be a huge loss for the Phoenix if Snedden was forced from the ground. Looks as though it's a left, maybe a thigh issue. Hip flexor.
Well, it may have come from that tackle about 15 minutes ago where he got up very slow. And unlike the World Cup, when he went down, he looked like he was hurt. And he got up and he got on with it.
That's the thing in Australia. Normally, if someone goes down, they're hurt.
Well, you know what, Bart? I was having a conversation with someone this morning about the old days out at West Walls End, and people like Gary Rowe would remember, and this man's dad, Steve Snedden. If you got hurt, you didn't want to tell anyone. It was a sign of weakness to the opposition that you were injured, let alone go down when someone pats you on the shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, so he has succumbed to that injury, and Aaron Nine Kuru will head out there. Now he's primarily an attacking player. He's young Aaron, so it looks as though he's just going to slot into the middle of that 4-4-2 formation alongside Matt Paul. As Tom Walker slices that one. CT heads. Jeez. Sorry about that. CT's almost got hit in the head with the ball. It went over the fence here at CV Complex, and CT's almost been knocked out.
Wouldn't be the first time a ball's hit me in the back of the head, Bart.
Now, I have been doing workplace health and safety law at uni just last week, and I think we could have been a bit of strife there. If that had a bump too. Is it threaded through? Chris Brown just offside. Imagine if you had hit the floor, knocked out.
I could have laid down next to the ball boy over there and be all sweet. No one would come over. You seem to enjoy that, Bart. You look like you're disappointed didn't clock me. Anyway, strong clearance from Plant. Goal kick.
It's just unfortunate Smudge isn't with us today, because if you had been knocked out, I would have had to take on the commentary for the entire match, so it would have been a little bit fatiguing for me.
I'm sure you'd be right, Bart.
Here's Tem Gui up. As I mentioned, Hume City, his most recent club, but he's been playing in the second tier United Soccer League over in America with Montreal and most recently Cincinnati. Very classy. Born in Darmstadt in Germany, but from Canada, a German-born Canadian. And he speaks French, so covers a few nationalities there. Now Hunter, Sam Walker, did well to control that bouncing ball. It was bobbling up a little awkwardly. And now Harry Lane. Riley Russell closed him down very well. He's short in stature, but he is a pocket rocket.
Terrific ball there from Shikawa. He really got through that defence, slotted that ball perfectly for Lane there, who was screaming for it, but he was just a little bit slow to react.
Sachawe bowled around in the box, and now it falls for Tom Walker, trying to strike his second goal in a week into the back of the net.
Well, that's a big opportunity for Tom Walker there, and they're the types of chances that Nick Webb, coach, will take into half-time and saying, listen, guys, we need to be hitting the bag more often. With the amount of chances that we're getting, we're not converting, and that's something that may be of some concern.
Into the wind, Sachawe goes high. Corey Fletcher. Now, he's a man that does not score many. He's never scored a goal in the NPL, Corey Fletcher. His last goal was back in the New FM days with Maitland in 2014.
Well, as much as we love Fletcher, he didn't look anywhere near it then either.
Question is he a better finisher than Kyle Hodges?
I'd say yes.
Because we've seen Kyle have a few interesting shots in recent weeks, and he hasn't scored in Hamilton colours ever in about 130 odd matches for them. Here's Josh Carroll. Now Wood used his body strength well. 9 Kuru. Here is Matt Paulin on goal, and he's offside. He's normally good for a few goals a year, Matt Paul, yet to strike it into the onion bag yet this year, CT. He was so close there.
With some footballing terminology, but you've certainly really got yourself in the slot. Yeah, he certainly is good for goals, Matty Paul. He was very close to it then. And it's that close for Lake Macquarie. The amount of chances they have, that type of opportunity is one that can catch them.
Josh Carroll. He did well. It bounced up onto his head and he controlled it nicely. Joel Wood looking for his second, and Stuart Plant in goals. Made the switch from Charlestown mid-season. Been decent for Lake Macquarie thus far. Kept his first clean sheet in Roosters colours a couple of weeks ago, did Plant.
Just around the grounds, Bart. Charlestown City Blues and Broadmeadow Magic sitting at 0-0. And the other game, we don't actually have any scores at this time. We don't have scores available. And
you can check it on Bar TV. Check it on Bar TV.
You can definitely do that. And a correction from you earlier today, Bart, it was 2-2 Adamstown and Lake Macquarie last weekend.
Yes, what did I say?
I believe you said it was 0-0.
No, it was 0-0 between Valentine and Maitland. Definitely 2-2 in the other game. So if I did say that, correct myself. But yeah, 2-2 that one at Lake Macquarie. There's Riley Russell.
The conditions today are probably tougher than what it may appear on screen. The ground, when you walk out there, it's bumpy. There's no doubt about that. It's bumpy, it's soft, and this wind is strong. So the conditions are playing a part here, and might be an explanation for the amount of turnover that's also part of this game.
It's a Chawe. Temguia just got pulled down there by Aquino. Grabbed him him by the scruff of the neck and dragged him down. And there's a poor turnover from 9 Kuru. So Tarway jumps over him. Campbell Ross. And Tamguia with the interception and then tries to move the ball forward through Josh Carroll. And as you said, CT, another turnover. Walker quickly with the throw. Aquino just off the shoulder of Tamguia, who went to ground.
For Lake Macquarie here, they've got Harry Lane that's literally got a quarter of the park on his own on the right-hand side. If he gets a little bit wider, he's easily hit.
He's already had some space out here on the right, Harry Lane. Here's Campbell Ross looking up, and that was where Harry Lane would be, but he was just sitting a little deeper in defence. Now Russell. Back to Scott Carter. So we tick towards half-time. Sam Walker with his 12th of the season opened the scoring for the Roosters. And then Joel Wood equalised for Valentine. So the two respective leading scorers for both of these two sides with the goals this afternoon. And Lake Macquarie opening the scoring for the 9th time in 15 matches this year. Spare. Now to Aquino. Bursts away down the left flank. Morgan Aquino. Now Sam Walker. And very well blocked by Riley Russell, who got there and was able to deny Sam Walker. Doesn't miss from there often.
No, he doesn't. And if he'd just been a little bit quicker on his feet, he might have got that one away earlier, saved the block. But back on the attack now.
Harry Lane, his pass was a little too acute. Now Joel Wood trying to run it out. Paul got there just in the nick of time. And Joe Kasich sweeps up at the back for the Roosters, but Matt Paul quickly wanting to keep it flowing forward through Josh Murray. Now Campbell Ross. Here's Joel Wood with the pivot and switch, and Riley Russell. He's going to switch the play. And Luke Willard came across with the win pretty quickly, and he got up with the right boot, controlled it, brought it down nicely. Matt Paul on the turn. 9 Kuru sits for him. Took on the strike from distance. Was blocked by the Roosters, and here's an opportunity now for the visitors. Tamguia on the turn, and there will be a card coming out for Reese Pettit. That challenge on Morgan Aquino, breaking down the attacking raid. It was a 3-on-3 there for the Roosters, so really hurt there for them. Aquino getting bumped to ground by Pettit. If you're a Valentine fan, an important foul nonetheless. Tamguia.
Valentine, Bart, have looked a different side in the last 15 minutes or so. Since they've scored, definitely for me, they just all of a sudden have some sort of shape. And they're back in the game. What will hurt them is a goal before half-time. There's no doubt about that.
Aquino and Walker lets it run on. Sachawe and Scott Carter. Didn't look comfortable. Blocked it away. Most important thing is it didn't go into the back of the net. Harry Lane. Riley Russell again just thwarting the Roosters' attack. It was as if they looked rattled in the first 10-15 minutes, CT Valentine, and since conceding they've looked quite solid. But it was just that first 15 minutes it was literally Lake Macquarie flooding forward and Valentine struggling to match them. And here's Josh Carroll putting Tom Walker under some real pressure.
Well, that's what happens, Bart, and we speak on this segment about momentum and how important that is when you've got it, and then that leads to confidence. And when you've got some confidence and momentum, it's huge for things like possession, and field position. Next goal, critical for that for either side. We see.
It was lovely control from Matt Paul, and then Joel Wood just using his strength. Stuart Plant with the block. Chris Brown was arriving late, as was Matt Paul. But the Roosters got back well to mop up.
But you're right, late Macquarie had all of the possession. They were the ones shooting at goal. They had plenty of shots, 10, 12, whatever it was, in that first half an hour, and just didn't convert anything except for one. And they're the ones that hurt when you have that many opportunities and you don't, get 3 or 4.
Campbell Ross, now to Aquino. Great touch to Mitch Hunter. Reece Pettit got the right boot in front of the strike. Smothered it. Stuart Plant decided he'd just play it first time. It skewed off the side of his boot. It may invite some pressure here from the Phoenix. Matt Paul. Nine Kuru. Now Russell. Be a corner here for Valentine. So an opportunity right before the break here to give themselves an advantage in a half where after Valentine were really under the pump in the first 15, you'd probably argue based on the chances late Macquarie have had, they deserve to go in front. Valentine have not had nowhere near as many chances. Stuart Plant flapped that one away. They've just grafted their way back into the contest as the wind really picks up here. Going straight across the ground from the camera side. Intercepted by Pettit.
It's an opportunity for late Macquarie. Got them on the counter attack.
Here's Walker. Pushing forward. That one beyond Mitch Hunter.
Maybe not the right choice from Walker there when he's got so many numbers running forward into the top 30. Probably trying to find Hunter, who was solo. Just let the play catch up a little bit.
And that will do us for the opening 45 minutes of action at Valentine at the CB complex. And after really suffering an onslaught in the opening quarter hour, Valentine have done well to head into the sheds level at 1 goal apiece. It was Sam Walker who opened the scoring for the Roosters, and then Joel Wood equalised for Valentine. And I think Darren Sills will be the happier of the coaches, CT. Nick Webb will be literally, we said he doesn't have any hair, but if he did, he would be pulling his hair out, because they could have been up 5-0 in the first 15 minutes, and we're not even joking.
Yeah, I mean, 5 would be a wonderful number for him, but if you said it was 3, that wouldn't surprise, particularly with the amount of intent and purpose and field possession that they've had, the possession that they had on a bumpy pitch. It was looking like a team that didn't resemble last week's side. And to be honest, Bart, he'll be pretty dirty that they're not a few up. And in fact, Valentine are right in this game. And we said before Valentine scored, it only takes a goal and they're back in it. And certainly that's what they are at the moment.
Well, now that Nick Webb, he's been sitting in front of us for this entire first half. Now that he's gone over there, I just want to ask you, what is it with Lake Macquarie this year? They're creating so many chances. They're scoring first in matches. And then they throw it all away and they head to the sheds at 1-1. And it's happened so many times for them this year. And you can see that's where they're sitting on the ladder, close to the bottom. And it's because they just cannot put in a 90-minute effort.
Yeah, look, whether Nick Webb's in front or not, the facts is that they've been leaking goals and they're probably missing, a couple of players, particularly defensively, to nullify that. And I think whether it's a screening midfielder or whether it's another central defender, what they do is they let in goals, and they've got to stop that. The other thing is at the other end, if they are 3 or 4 goals, then they've got an opportunity to maintain that, and the 1 goal isn't going to hurt too much. But at the moment it's 1-1, and Valentine have got some reason to come out with some enthusiasm in the second half and think and believe they can win, and that should be worrying for Lake Macquarie right at the moment.
I think it's frustrating for Lake Macquarie fans, neutral fans as well, because they are so great to watch Lake Macquarie when they are on song. It's just leaking scrappy goals like the one they've leaked this afternoon against Valentine, which has cost them. And that is what Nick Webb is going to have to try and resurrect in the back half of this season and the back half of this match. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Half time at CB Complex. It's Valentine 1, Lake Macquarie 1. Welcome back to the CB complex. The second half just about to get underway. And it's all locked up at 1 goal apiece at halftime. And it will be Valentine to get us underway. Aaron 9 Kuru charging forward down the centre. Joel Wood laying it off to Riley Russell. He scored the equaliser for Valentine in the first half. Sam Walker with the opening goal of this one. And it was really all late Macquarie early on. And then Valentine grafted their way back into the first half. Matt Paul, that one through the legs of Chris Brown. We'll find out exactly what both coaches had to say at halftime. Chris Turner just trying to find out. Enjoying his time back on the touchline. We're right up close to the action here at the CB complex. Next to both coaches, Morgan Aquino. Gives away the free kick in possession. A little foul there on Reece Pettit. Of course, earlier in the season, round 5, it was 1-all. It was 1-all in that match. Stuart Plant showing off some tricky skills there. It was 1-all in that match in round 5, and then late Macquarie piled on 5 goals to win it 6-1 at Macquarie Field. They've won 2 of the last 3 between these sides. Looking to continue that good run of form. Chris Turner has rejoined me after having a chat with the coaches to find out what was said in the sheds. What was said, CT?
I didn't get the opportunity to speak with Nick Webb. As close as he sits at the moment, won't disturb him, but I was able to catch Darren Sills briefly before play commenced.
There's Mitch Hunter bringing that one down, but defensively Valentine scrambled well.
And he said the mood was pretty good. He said upbeat. He said they've weathered an early storm and you know, they've got themselves back in the game. He feels that the game will open up more as play goes on, and they need to be present when that happens. And he said the other thing is that you know, the runs from Sam Walker and locking him up a bit better because he's playing in a very dangerous position. See that one offside. He's playing a little bit deeper as opposed to a striker, and he's playing sort of in the midfield. And he's on the ball often, and the runs he's making in from deep are the ones that have got to be picked up, and they're the ones that hurt if he's left unattended. So that's about the summary from the Valentine camp, and it's all good news for them from what they said. They definitely think they can win it, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're looking to get just their second win of the season, and they've only lost 6 matches. When I say only, they're sitting last. And to put that in perspective, Lake Macquarie have lost 9 matches, so they sit a couple of places above Valentine on the ladder. So it just shows you how much draws can impact you and how important winning is and getting 3 points. That was the difference a few years ago against Hamilton Olympic. For Hamilton Olympic in that premiership race, they went through a season, CT, undefeated, 18 matches, 12 wins, 6 draws. And in the end, they missed winning the premiership because Edgeworth had won more matches. Matt Paul. Now Riley Russell. Wants to roll that one up the line towards Murray. Now 9 Kuru. Geez, quick. Here he is, Aaron 9 Kuru across the face, and somehow Joel Wood has not put that one in.
Joel Wood, full outstretch there, and he may have injured himself. I'm not sure whether he's just actually injured mentally. But he couldn't get anything on that. A tippy toe would have been enough to poke that one away.
Just incredible. Aaron 9 Kuru scored that wonderful bicycle goal last time against Lake Macquarie. Plant. Now Carroll on to Wood. Walker just toes it forward, but it's only gone as far as Josh Carroll. Hit that one solidly towards Josh Murray. He's had limited opportunities playing in the front third for the first time for Valentine this season. After starting the year at centre back, here's Chris Brown looking for Murray. Sam Walker. Now Mitch Hunter. That was cheeky. Back heel up the line. Tom Sparray. Great in tight areas.
That's better from Sparray.
Got himself beautifully away from a couple of would be Valentine tackles, and now Sachawe, the Zambian, across to Harry Lane. The final ball, thought it had let them down, and then Spare's shot didn't have the desired power, and Valentine will look to break free now.
I've been really liking the way Harry Lane's gone about his game today, but he definitely could have taken a touch there and got something more significant into the box part.
And CT, just a little bit more flow about this game, less turnover, and you'd probably say it's down to the fact the wind has died down in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, it has, and we were mentioning the wind earlier, and it was feeling like it was getting stronger, but you're right, it has definitely died down here.
Now Harry Lane. Swings that one in. Hunter. Now Walker with no one on him, but it is a very tight angle. Chipped it in towards Aquino, and then Chris Brown continues the aerial ping pong. Harry Lane into the back of Pettit. Now Josh Murray, or Kasich, that was an important block because Josh Carroll was making a charging run down this right flank. And here he is, Josh Carroll. Tom Walker shielded him well. He had to because Joel Wood was making a run straight down the middle of the park. Corey Fletcher played for Maitland in the NPL. Came to Lakes last year. Here is the ball to Sam Walker. It was pinpoint. And now Mitch Hunter guides it wide. Well, there's another opportunity gone begging for Lake Macquarie and also for Mitch Hunter. And Darren Sills has looked across to his opposite coach and had a bit of a chuckle. He cannot believe it.
This is a great little triangle I'm having here.
Now
Nick Webb's got his head between his knees. Silsy's got a big smile on his face.
There's
Great
Hunter
banter.
now. So there's Tem Guia with the outstretched right boot. Is this the chance now for Lake Macquarie? No. Reece Pettit, the saviour on that occasion for Valentine. Joel Wood. All of a sudden, Valentine breaking forward with some pace and some numbers. Wood. Turning Kasich inside and out like a sock there, CT. And then he got bowled over. Tripped over his own feet maybe in the end. And the ball.
Like a sock. Exactly it, Bart. That's better from both sides. So the level of possession is definitely increasing, and that's typical of a game as it wears into a match where those energetic legs just get a little bit heavier and teams tend to keep the ball for longer periods.
Pettit had Aquino coming from his blind spot. Russell on an afternoon where the trees have been severely rustling this afternoon. Campbell Ross. Too much power on that volley. Scott Carter, well, that was interesting. He just thumps it down the ground straight to the chest of Spare. Not much thought went into that ball. Could come back to bite Valentine. Will be a corner kick for them. It was just a poor clearance from Carter. It was as if he just did not think about it and cleared it straight to Spare and invited some more pressure. And if there's one player on the Lake Macquarie side that is dangerous with a lot of space, it's Tom Spare, and he was gifted it right there.
Well, he did well there, Spare, and he's got a corner out of his efforts. This one's in by Shikawe.
It's very deep.
Not sure what the issue there
well,
is.
I think he's having a chat here to Scott Carter because he gave Aquino a fair bump just before that corner came in. And Strickland is having a chat to Scott Carter. As we mentioned, CT, he hasn't been sent off this year.
Season's not over.
I know that, and takes that one well. There's never a dull moment with that man in goals. Here we go. Gee, look at that again.
It's just been launched down the park.
And Murray. Well, the handball goes against Harry Lane. I think that's a little bit harsh. Looked as though it may have been shoulder more than his arm. We'll give Aaron Strickland the benefit of the doubt there.
So we'll have Smudge back next week, Bart.
We will.
After he's annual leave that he's taken. He might be at the Vineyards or somewhere special. I'm not sure where he's at today, but
well, next week we've got a huge clash. Hamilton and Edgeworth. Big one next week, so make sure you catch that one next Sunday. Jack McLaughlin, Reece Pettit.
Sorry, Smudge will be back on deck for that one, no doubt.
And they'll be all wind out, I'd say. Here's Russell. Got a little nibble from Aquino. Well taken by Plant. Luke Willard. Steps inside away from Walker. Now Matt Paul. Sachawe got there, but it's straight back to the Valentine midfielder. Darren Sills' side pushing forward here. Probing for the go-ahead goal. Just one win for Valentine this year. They've actually been quite good in matches at home. In 5 matches played here, they've just lost the 2. Not a great record away from home, though. They've lost 4 of their 7, so been somewhat better at the CB complex. Scored 6 and conceded 7, so they've been tight matches invariably here. Chris Brown dinking it. Murray rises. Kasic with the header away, and now 9 Kuru. Well blocked by Corey Fletcher. CT, that is an incredible stat. So Valentine this year, they've scored 6, conceded 7 at the CB complex. In 1 match, they scored 4, conceded 3. So if you do the maths there, in 4 matches, it's been very tight. Aquino called just offside. Late Macquarie bench unimpressed with that. Again, it's a couple of times it's been tight, CT.
Don't blame him. We're in perfect spot to see that. And I think when the ball was kicked, for me, he was just on the edge of his own half and not offside. So I can't see that one was off.
Here's Luke Willard. 9 Kuru.
A call from where I used to coach. Yeah, there is definitely no bias there. It's straight down the middle.
Here's Tom Walker. There's plenty of banter on the sidelines this afternoon. Harry Lane. Now Sachawe gets on the outside of Reece Pettit, who recovered, and it will be a corner. So just back to that. So when you take out the match between Western and Valentine, in the 4 other matches, Valentine have scored twice and conceded 3 times. That's how tight it's been. That includes 2 0-all draws with Maitland and Lambton Jaffers. So it's a tough ground to score goals at majority of the time. Sachawe. Walker. And then his brother Tom had a lash at it.
Clever play there from the Walker brothers there. Sam knew that Tom was behind him, and he really took that first player out and left the ball for his brother. He knew exactly where he was, which comes from a lot of time in the backyard. It's just not those two. There's others brothers, Chris, Ben, Daniel. They've all got different colour hairs, red, blue, black, white.
I'll tell you what, I wish I had $1 for every time I had to hear the story about the Walker brothers and the names that you give them, CT. I swear I've heard that story about, no joke, 50 times.
That's good, Bart.
Here's Campbell Ross.
Another 50 coming.
And now Morgan Aquino was ambitious, and it would have been superb if he pulled it off. But he couldn't. That would have been goal of the week for sure. No one was going to take that off him.
That shot was a bit like Smudge's iron play. Just shoved high and wide to the right.
Spar 8. That was an important intervention from Josh Carroll because it allows Joel Wood some space. Now that was definitely a handball from Kasic. Well, I don't know how the linesman's missed that. That was just clear as day. That was one of the clearest handballs I've seen in a long time.
Well, so much so the ball was just kicked out. So
here's Willard. Harry Lane absolutely thumped it. And then Kasic's clearance. Hunter got a little bump from Reese Pettit. No whistle from the referee. And then Aquino. Well, Russell's got himself into a real pickle here. Gets himself out of it somehow. Now Pettit. Might have a nosebleed at the end of that. Reese Pettit, he's pushed well forward and Chris Brown's offside. As you can see, plenty of strapping on that right knee. Chris Brown, and here comes the card. This is for kicking the ball away. Josh Carroll. It's just a needless yellow card, CT.
Joshy 10, right shoulder, Josh. Josh Carroll.
yeah, this game's really levelled out to what it was. In case you've just joined us, the first 15-20 minutes, it was all Lake Macquarie. Probably 7-8 shots, and by the time they got to the 30-minute mark, they would have had at least 10 to 12, converting one, and really not that many opportunities for Valentine. And they turned that around with a goal at about the 30 to 35th minute mark. And all of a sudden, as we've spoken about, Smudge and I, with momentum, it shifted, and the mood in half-time, Valentine's been great.
Here's Sparray. Can he weave his way into the box? Luke Willard with the close control and just fired the pass up the line to Josh Murray, two former Jets youth teammates. And here is Chris Brown, really showing some toe, the veteran. No goals this year, and somehow, well, it bobbled up off the grass awkwardly. We've spoken about the pitch, and it almost looped up and over Stuart Plant, but it rests into the side netting.
Well, that one was surprising on two fronts. One, that Chris Brown's got that much speed. And the second thing, when he got down there, he's copped a bobble like you'd see at West Walls End in the 1980s. It's come up, wrapped around his knee, and lucky to get anything on it at all.
Well, here's a chance at the other end of the ground. Scott Carter almost poleaxed Mitch Hunter. Sparrow across the face, and Carter recovers. It's all happening now.
It is all happening. We've got end-to-end football in this game. It looked like it was going to open up, and finally it has.
Well, if
Both
you are
teams missing opportunities.
If you have just switched over, or you're switching over from watching the match between Charlestown and Magic, don't switch back. This is much more entertaining. So corner kick here for Lake Macquarie. And the volley was Walker. We saw that score at halftime. Charlestown were up 1-0 in that clash, and Lambton were up 3-0 at halftime against Adamstown.
I can tell you that game at Charlestown is still 1, Broadmeadow Magic 0.
CT, that ball almost took you out again. That's twice this afternoon.
It's almost 2, Bart.
Here's Matt Paulware right in the firing line this afternoon. Now Joel Wood. He is in front of Tom Walker. He was bumped off balance. Was he in the box, or was there even a foul at all? Aaron Strickland says no. CT.
Look, if I was in Darren Sills' shoes, I'd be saying it's a penalty, but without bias, I couldn't see one. It seemed to me like Joel Woods fell.
Well, I saw a little bump, so maybe I'll side against you on that one. We'll beg to differ and have a look at the replay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a replay will sort that one out, but I can tell you it didn't look like he copped a check. But as you say, Bart, your eyes are better than mine anyway. We'll check that one out a bit later.
I thought he was bumped a touch beforehand, which forced him off balance. And then as he tried to control again, he tripped over. So there's Josh Carroll taking his leave for the afternoon, and Wilson Edwards heading out there. He's back from injury. Wilson Edwards hasn't played since last month. He injured his quad. Injured his quad back in that match that we did CT in round 9 when Valentine played Charlestown. So return for Wilson Edwards. He's got that tape on the inside of the left quad you can see is now Chris Brown, another man who looks a bit like Frankenstein with the taping. 9 Kuru, slaloms past a couple. And then Tom Walker ensured he wouldn't go past a third. Reese Pettit looks up and sees Luke Willard in the right back, getting very high.
Quality ball from Pettit.
Kasic got an important toe in. Now Walker under pressure. He's played it straight to Willard. 9 Kuru. Tried to thread the needle to Matt Paul. Edwards, well, took a deflection. It may fall here nicely for Matt Paul. Hasn't scored this year. It doesn't look as though he'll change that on this occasion. Brown. Murray, it was just above him, and Kasic was able to twitch it away for Valentine.
Matty Paul there, I know he's a left footer, but I would love to have seen him just pull the trigger with his right because it was on to be hit.
Definitely.
Went for his favoured.
Maybe that is just a lack of confidence for Matt Paul. We know he can score them. It was great last year for Valentine, 3 goals.
Well, he may have actually thought that there was an opportunity on his left and get something on target with authority, and it just closed up on him very, very quickly.
And now 9 Kuru. This one straight at Stuart Plant. And Lake Macquarie are going to make a change. Zane Winslade is about to head out there for them. Making his second appearance for them after moving across from Adamstown Rosebud. Here's Spare. He's been good today, Tom Spare. Well cut out there by Tim Guia, but he's been a constant menace down the left flank.
Look, to be honest, if you're going to get very specific, he looked a bit shaky when he was running and dribbling with the ball early in the match. But as it's progressed on, now he's putting some dummies on. He's shimming his way through at defences, and we see Morgan Aquino come off. But he's been getting better as the game's worn on.
So Zane Winslade with an early touch. Actually played 2 weeks ago for Adamstown. So this is how quickly the switches occurred. He played 2 weeks ago for Adamstown in their match against Maitland. Now, all of a sudden, he's in Lake Macquarie colours. Just wasn't getting enough game time for Adamstown. That's the reason for the move. Wilson Edwards. Now Wood with the sleight of chest, just trying to deflect that one towards Josh Murray. So Charway, here's Winslade. And it looks as though Winslade has moved into the midfield role that Sam Walker was occupying, and Walker has pushed up into the front third, CT.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened, and that would be in an attempt to get Walker on goal more often. Having said that, I did like the way he was playing in a sort of a higher midfield role where he was in and around it and making runs from deep, and that's where he was getting. He's in most dangerous positions. He was running from deep and getting in behind the defence when he's picked out, and also when balls are coming back out, he was sort of in and around for shooting, and that's where his goal eventually came from. But there was plenty of other opportunities as well.
He did seem to have a little bit of a lull there, though, Sam Walker. He started the match really well, as Willow just offside. Started the match really well, was in just about every opportunity, and then since they scored, he has been a lot quieter. So maybe this is the move to just give him a little more opportunity to create some goal-scoring chances in that front third.
Well, just a refresher on the discussion with Darren Sills just after half-time. He said that they wanted to man Mark Walker, and that they've done. So, you know, all in all, if you're marking him, taking him out of the game, well, you know, effectively, let's change things around, and that's what Nick Webb's done.
Well, that shows you just how much quality Sam Walker has when opposition coaches man marking him. Here's Tem Guia, the new signing for Valentine in his second NPL Northern New South Wales match. Matt Paul sort of got stuck under his boot. Stuart Plant with a little bit of a juggle. Probably a little bit tired, Stuart Plant in goals for Lake Macquarie after celebrating that England win over Sweden last night. Chris Brown A great chance earlier in this second half. Riley Russell. Here is Plant with the sweeping job at the back. Tim Guia just thumps that one.
Organise the race. Organise the midfield.
Reece Pettit's trying to surge up the middle of the grounds. Winslade was there for late Macquarie to calm things down and get them back in control. Harry Lane. Now Sachawe. Sam Walker with the late run across the face, and Scott Carter. There's a call for a corner kick here, is it, for Valentine, or is it an offside? A little bit of confusion. No, it will be a goal kick after all that.
Bullshit. You're still getting your hand up saying it was a corner.
Scott Carter kept his first clean sheet of the season last week for Valentine in that 0-0 draw against Maitland. Here's Willard. He just got in the way of Edwards, and it allows Sparray the chance. Here he is, Tom Sparray. Pettit clatters into him and won the ball. Tim Guia rolls one up the line to Edwards, and now Murray. Chris Brown chiming in. Sees the run of 9 Kuru. Gets himself in front of Corey Fletcher. Harry Lane was there. 9 Kuru, and Edwards trying to reach it.
Work, Matty Paul. Well done, Matty. Close to Luke.
And Valentine creating some great opportunities here now in the front third. All cut out by Pettit. Winslade couldn't get a toe in. And 9 Kuru and Campbell Ross both got a fistful of each other's shirts, so it could have gone either way. Powerful header away from Reece Pettit. Would you agree, CT? Valentine, they've been the better side in the last few minutes. Here's another ball over the top to Wood and Stuart Plant. What's the option here? He's taking his time.
Yeah, the option there is to go long, give him time to get back, and that's exactly what he's done. Sorry, Bart, been distracted. My wife's been looking for the car keys at home. We've found them.
Well, that's good news then. Crisis of third. Oh, gee, that's hit Joel Wood in a place you never want to be hit, CT.
Right in the batteries.
And he has gone down like a sack of spuds. Oh, you've got a feel for him.
Right in the batteries. Got a smile on his face. He's back up.
I'm just wondering, CT, if you just called out to Joel, how he'd be talking right now.
He'd probably give me a response back, but it's not pleasant.
Well, here is a chance for late Macquarie. Harry Lane out wide. Scott Carter bumps him down. It's a very tough corner to see from the commentary position. There was a pole in my way, so I didn't quite get a decent look at it, but there was appeals for a penalty. It's always on the cards with Scott Carter. Came flying out.
He did come flying out. He got ball first, but went straight through the player.
Willard, is he onside this time? He was. So with just a quarter hour to play, Valentine heading towards a 6th draw of the season. And Valentine heading towards potentially a 6th draw of the season. Late Macquarie They hadn't had a draw before last weekend. It might be 2 in a row for them. But there's still 15 minutes to play, CT, and that's a very long time in football, in all sport.
Look, it is, and, you know, even those last 2 or 3 that'll get put on, you know, you just can't write a game off.
That's Tom Spare's speed that's won him the ball there from Luke Willard. Now he busts forward. Hunter. And now it's been missed by Edwards. Here is Tom Spare, deserves a goal for all his efforts this afternoon. And Tem Guia in turn with Edwards getting back to clean up the damage for Valentine. Just a chip from Carter. Now Wood. Get straight back to Campbell Ross, and now it allows Lake Macquarie the opportunity to foray forward.
Keep working, Matty, Paul.
Winslade has been afforded some time there. Now Lane. Kasic joins the play. Sam Walker trying to hold off Wilson Edwards and does win the foul. Wilson Edwards had a little bit of a nibble. So Sam Walker standing over it.
We're on a good angle here, Bart, and he can see top right. If he goes left, he's going over the wall.
Here is Walker and Carter with a super save. Got the arm up. Saved the day for Valentine for the moment. And now Valentine get the free kick. Corey Fletcher holding off Joel Wood. Here it is, chipped in. And Mitch Hunter getting back to the defensive work for Lake Macquarie. Harry Lane had that chance a moment ago, which was smothered by Scott Carter. Kept in by Matt Paul. He's done well to keep that from crossing the touchline. Swung across to Willard, and now Wood. And a foot race with Tom Walker. And he has curled that in perfectly to Tom Spare. And now chips it to Sam Walker. Now Spare, Tim Guia, left his feet, and Spare was able to ride the challenge and continue his run across the ground.
Work, lads.
Back he goes to Lane. Winslade goes back to Corey Fletcher. And we've got it under that left-footed cross. And it seems as though Lake Macquarie are going to make their second change. They'll just hold on for a second because Sam Walker was heading towards the box. Tem Guia. And here is the change for Lake Macquarie. And it's looking as though Valentine may make the change as well. Jack Tybold, who's heading out there, scored a hat-trick this afternoon, CT, in the 18s match that Lake Macquarie won 3-1. So here we go, going straight into the role that Mitch Hunter was playing in the striking role for the Roosters.
Well, the hat-tricks is a good day for anyone. As we know, there's a big gap between that level and this one. If you can find any sort of that form, it'll be more than welcomed here for Lake Macquarie.
Here's Temguia. Can he find Wood with the pass? He could, but he's being pushed towards that touchline, and then he dinks it towards Chris Brown. Josh Murray was charging towards the top of the D. Can get there first, though. 9 Kuru. It's a similar situation if you're a Valentine fan heading towards the final minutes. The match still level here at the CB complex. Sam Walker has the run of Sachawa, and it's overhit. Scott Carter steps away from Diebold. He's off Scott Carter. Thought he was going to go for a run down the ground, one of his famous goalkeeper runs. And now Stuart Plant. It's all of a sudden getting a little bit frantic now. Matt Paul. Now Chris Brown. That's on Harry Lane. Not a handball, according to Aaron Strickland.
Well, Bart, I thought Strickland was pointing to the spot there, and
I thought it was a handball.
It could have been well that. His hand was out. It's hit his hand.
Just checking scores at the other grounds. Charlestown leading Magic 1-0 at the moment, and at Adamstown Oval it is 3-0 Lambton up, but they have received a red card. So more to come there as Diebold into Pettit, and now Sam Walker. So less than 10 minutes to go here at the CB complex at Crowders Bay. It's the 9th placed Lake Macquarie Roosters away to bottom of the table Valentine Phoenix. The Lake Macquarie derby. It's been a great contest so far. And between two sides evenly matched. Sam Walker with a goal for Lake Macquarie. Opened the scoring very early on. It seems like an age ago now. And then Joel Wood with the goal for Valentine. So it's Shinji Shozu, Japanese import. He didn't come off the bench last week. He was named on the bench, but didn't come off the bench last week in their 0-0 draw with Maitland. He does this week, and Chris Brown. He's worked very hard this afternoon. Down the left side, tireless work from the Scotsman, Chris Brown. And Joel Wood's done plenty of work as well. He's charging after Tom Walker. Corey Fletcher. Shanked over the sideline.
Yeah, he's been good, Joel Woods. He really adds some danger to the attack for Valentine, and just doesn't give any defenders any peace. Always on the go.
Riley Russell. Short steps of the Phoenix left back. Here is Matt Paul. Swings it in. Shozu. Scored in the under-20s this afternoon. Shinji Shozu couldn't find the quality there on that ball into the box. Harry Lane now. Swivels inside. Campbell Ross now to Fletcher. Ryan Kuru shuts him down. Guia wins the foul. Off the bump from Kasic. He's been good again, the centre-back from Canada. Born in Germany. Played in the second-tier competition in the United States, the US Soccer League. With Cincinnati, and also over there with Montreal. Joel Wood towards the touchline. So a good area of the ground to be here for Valentine. With just over 5 minutes to play. Great to have your company this afternoon if you're joining us. Joel Wood nods it back on towards Naikuru. Charway's clearance was scuffed and Edwards arrives. Just loops it back in towards the middle. Willard is after it. Still with Luke Willard, and Joel Wood was waiting like a tiger after its prey, CT.
Important header away from Fletcher there, because Joel Woods was on hand, and chances are it was going to be on target as well.
Look at Temguia there, who's holding off late Macquarie players, left, right and centre. Sparray. There's Temguia again, strong header. Murray. Straight into the chest of Kasich. That may have winded him. Does look to be feeling it a touch. That ball straight to Riley Russell. Getting a bit scrappy there from the Roosters as Willard can't track that one down.
Yeah, a bit scrappy and also wrong options as well. He should have come inside, playing a ball up front that just didn't find its mark.
Walker, that was a great flick onto Diebold. As we mentioned, he scored a hat-trick this afternoon in the 18s. Couldn't quite get the shot on goal because Reece Pettit was quick and very intelligent tackle. Well, CT, we talk about three things being certain in life. Death, taxes, and I'm going to add something else to that. I'm going to add the third thing because it's always optional.
What, you not having a girlfriend?
Where did that come from? I'll come back to that after Sam Walker. He is in on goal here. Walker gets it past Carter, and it finds its way in. The hero is Sam Walker for the Roosters. Scored their opener this afternoon, and it is the skipper who scores the winner and may just have snatched all 3 points for the visitors this afternoon.
Well, Bart, you may not know how to score, but he does. He's just been sensational in this season, putting goals away left, right and centre, and he's had plenty of opportunity this afternoon, and that's a double for him. He'll be very, very happy with that, and so will his coach, and in fact his whole squad will be ecstatic. Probably should have had this one, you know, goals earlier in the game, and they deserve to be up at least by 3. Didn't happen that way. Valentine got themselves in, then we seesawed and fractionally Valentine in front. Late Macquarie in the end. At this point in the game, there's still time, of course, but you know, debatable whether they should actually be in front at the moment. But it is. That's the way it is. And Late Macquarie 2, Valentine Phoenix 1.
Here is Joel Wooden. What I was actually going to say was it would have been one of the great commentators' curses. I was going to say there's 3 things certain: death, taxes, and Valentine having another draw in the NPL, and all of a sudden that's made turnaround. So you thank me for that. But it may still be a chance here. 9 Kuru. I might have committed a reverse curse.
Look, there's another. I'm guessing another 5 minutes here.
Here's 9 Kuru, not an end, Pettit. He can't believe it, Reece Pettit, smashing his fist into the ground. Somehow, Planters got an arm down to that, and his day just keeps getting better. England are through to the semi-finals, and he may have just ensured all 3 points. Going to be staying with the Roosters.
The sun's in his eyes here, Bart, and that's worrying for a keeper in the corners. It's delivered in. It's back stick to Wood.
Wood, Pettit rising again, was scrappy. That Sam Walker has just rocketed that one over the touchline. So 13 goals now for Sam Walker, and he goes ahead of James Vigili in the Golden Boot standings. Vigili, of course, in China at the moment with the Jets, so he's making hay while the sun shines. Sam Walker. Now the final change for the Roosters. Jackson O'Sullivan, new signing for Late Macquarie. He's come across from Lambton Jaffas mid-season. Jaffas having a good afternoon against Adamstown. Made the move to the Roosters. Didn't have as much game time as he would have liked. definitely hard to break into Lambton Jaff's first team at the moment. They've got a strong side. Joel Wood just goes to ground there. Be a little knock. Into stoppage time now. Charlestown leading Magic 1-0. So Edgeworth fans will be excited about that result at the moment. Corey Fletcher knocked that one over the sideline. Late Macquarie, in the final 15 minutes of matches this year, they've conceded 7 goals, which is actually the second worst in the competition. So they'll be wanting to make sure they don't concede another one here. Valentine, after that goal scored by Sam Walker, they've conceded 6 now. So it's always an issue, besides down the bottom end of the ladder, conceding goals, but conceding them late as well. Valentine have done that this afternoon.
This is where you want, if you're in Valentine's shoes, you want the game to hurry up a little bit. Lake Macquarie clearly taking their time, winding the clock back a little bit. There's probably only, 2 or 3 minutes left in this one. So we see Plant thump that up the park.
And a win for Lake Macquarie this afternoon would mean a clean sweep of matches against Valentine in the season for the first time in their history. There's an offside, so the free kick will go the way of Valentine. Never has it happened that Lake Macquarie have beaten Valentine in all matches in a top grade season or in the new FM season as well. Jack Diebold here has got some claret coming out of the snoz there, CT.
He's copped one on the beak there and he's been sent to the blood bin. Well, Lake Macquarie will be desperate to get him back on the park. The more numbers on the field, the better. What they've got to be careful of here is the counter-attacking. You can see how many they've left at home.
Now Sam Walker, that would have sealed it. A hat-trick there. Scored twice against Valentine in round 5. He's now scored twice again here. He's got a wonderful record against the Phoenix. 6 goals now in his last, in 4 matches. 6 goals in 4, including this one. Coming into this one, it was 4 in his last 3. So there's something about the local rivals for Sam Walker. Rooster through and through.
And that time, Lake Macquarie were offside. Again, we're in perfect position to see it. He was a good 3 metres off on that occasion. So,
well, it's last chance saloon time now for the home side. Matt Paul.
8 players behind the ball for Lake Macquarie. 1 off the park and 1 up front.
Tom Walker has just put everything into that one. Scott Carter with the slip. Up goes Reece Pettit. May roll on through here for Luke Willard. It was played back by Lane to Stuart Plan, who made that critical save late on in the match. And the 90 minutes is up, and it is a clean sweep for Lake Macquarie against Valentine for the first time in their history. 6-1 in round 5. A little bit tighter this afternoon. It took until the final 10 minutes for them to seal the 3 points. A 2-1 result. Sam Walker with a double. And Valentine lose their first match for the first time in 3 matches, I should say, after a couple of draws in recent weeks. It's been a difficult season for Valentine, and that wooden spoon just comes even closer. They stay stranded on 8 points. Full time here at the Crowders Bay Complex at Valentine. Finishes Valentine Phoenix 1, Lake Macquarie Roosters 2. An important 3 points there, CT, for Lake Macquarie. And I feel like this is a bit of a turning point in Lake Macquarie's season, in the sense that they were challenged. They made it difficult for themselves, but they still claimed the 3 points. And I don't think that has happened very often for them this season. They've normally won, and won well. haven't won these tight matches, and that's hurt them. They've done that this afternoon.
Look, to be honest, Bart, they probably should have had it wrapped up in the first half. They had opportunities and plenty of them. They just didn't convert them, and that would have been frustrating for Nick Webb when they went in at half-time, just not to have been at least by 3 up. They came out in the second half because Valentine had scored. It was 1-1, and it really looked like Valentine were going to get right back in the match and potentially win it at one point. It just didn't eventuate that way, and we saw another goal from Sam Walker to make it 2-1, and that's how it finished up.
CT, do you want to go and see if you can get Stuart Plant over for a chat, just briefly? I know he made that wonderful save late on, and we might have a chat to him also about what happened overnight with England. Of course, a UK national, Stuart Plant from England, so he's pretty excited at the moment. Made a great save to win Lake Macquarie the match, so we'll try and get him over here for a quick chat. But a difficult afternoon for Valentine, wasn't it? In the match again, it looked to be heading for Groundhog Day and another draw.
Yeah, and you know what? They've played a really unique sort of style with a 5-1-2-2, and as I said before, it resembled a glass of some description. But look, all in all, they were deserved winners. And we've got Stewie Plant just joining us here.
Yeah, come over, Stuart. I just want to say, has your day got any better? Could it get any better? So England are through to the World Cup, the semi-finals, and you made a save to win your side the game this afternoon.
Yeah, what a day. I'm tired. The World Cup out here is, because it's midnight, 4 a.m. kick-offs and stuff, it's hard, and then you've got to play the next day as well. So, I won't miss it for the world. But yeah, no, it's top day, and yeah, same as last week and this week, and yeah, so we're going good.
You've come into this Lake Macquarie side here, at some point during the year, and you seem to have settled in pretty well. You've got, you came in at a time when they really needed a keeper, and you come in, you've got a couple of clean sheets, now you've got a couple of wins. Yeah. You've pulled off a great save towards the end there. Seems to be a fairly good fit for you.
Yeah, no, I love it here. The boys are brilliant. As soon as Webby said, fancy coming across, I knew it was a chance that I've got to take, and, for me to excel for my football career as well. And there's no better way to do it here. And, the boys are good, and, I love playing for Lakes now. And, like I said, Webby and Craig, they put faith in me, confidence, which always helps as a keeper, you know what I mean? So, and it's a big thing, to be confident. And, we're unbeaten in 4 now. We lost 6 on the spin, and now we're unbeaten in 4. And, we're going to the bye next week. And yeah, so but like I said, yeah, now we're going good. We're playing good football. We're not out of games. Jaffers, Edgeworth, Magic. We've all should be beating teams, like that. So yeah, so no, we're going good, and I'm happy playing football. And that's a big thing for me as well, is enjoying it. And it's a big thing. And like I said, just that win there. I know we should have put 10 or 12 past Valentine today, but it wasn't meant to be. So. Yeah.
Stuart, just want to ask you, let's move away from the NPL. England, of course, up against Croatia. What are your thoughts on the match for Thursday morning? Obviously, you're going to be up. You're going to be watching it.
I've always been sceptical. I've never said it's coming home just yet. And like I said, it's Croatia have been one of the better teams in the world in the tournaments. They've gone to penalties twice. I think it's got pens all over it. And we're confident now. Pickford's coming of age and stuff. So yeah, no. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to the World Cup final, and then it's anyone's game, really. So
you refer to coming home.
What are we saying, CT?
To that ordinary.
I can only play it for a bit, or we'll get kicked off YouTube. But
probably going to get kicked off already because of that. But listen, every player knows what importance it is to have a great keeper behind them. Lake Macquarie have certainly got that in you. So go and enjoy the victory with your teammates, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thanks, Stu.
Thank you. See you, boys.
Enjoy the team song. CT, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Football's coming home.
All right, on that note, right there, we'll wrap it up this afternoon.
Yep, we'll see you Thursday night for the NPL show. And then next week, Edgeworth up against Hamilton Olympic. We can't wait. Full time this afternoon at Crowders Bay. It was Lake Macquarie's Sam Walker with a double. The captain coming with 2 goals this afternoon and winning it 2-1 for the visitors. So that wraps it up. The derby going the way of the Roosters. We'll catch you during the week.